Most car dealers tell you they stand behind what they sell. American Motors dealers let their customers tell you.
When I first heard about the buyer protection plan on television, and I thought, what a bunch of baloney. I didn't believe it.
It was April Fool's Day, 1970. The automotive landscape was dominated by muscle cars and massive sedans. Gas was cheap, and few Americans were concerned about fuel economy.
This year, 9 million of you Americans will buy a car, probably from one of the 3 big car companies, without even considering American Motors. Now, that's a shame. Last April, we came out with a Gremlin, an American car that met the economy imports head-on. Nobody had ever done that before.
But American Motors Corporation was about to change the game with one of the most distinctive and polarizing vehicles ever to roll off an American assembly line. The AMC Gremlin. The story of the Gremlin isn't just about an oddly named, peculiarly shaped economy car. It's a tale of automotive innovation born from desperation, corporate survival against tremendous odds, and how a small American automaker managed to beat Detroit's Big Three to market with America's first domestically produced subcompact car. The Gremlin's genesis came during a period of existential crisis for AMC. By the late 1960s, the smallest American automaker was struggling financially, unable to compete with General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler in the mainstream market. AMC's leadership knew they needed something different to survive, a vehicle that would carve out a new niche entirely. Dick Teague, AMC's design chief and the unsung hero of American automotive design, faced an impossible challenge. Create a subcompact car that would appeal to American buyers, but do it with virtually no development budget and an impossibly tight timeline. What happened next has become legendary in automotive circles. Teague grabbed a sketch pad and, according to company lore, drew the initial concept for the Gremlin on an airline barf bag during a flight. His brilliant solution to AMC's budget constraints: take the existing Hornet platform and simply cut off the rear portion. This truncated camback design was controversial but effective, giving the Gremlin its distinctive profile, long hood, abruptly cut off rear end, that people either loved or hated. Nothing else on American roads looked remotely like it. The engineering team, led by Meade Moore, took Teague's concept and made it a reality in record time. The Gremlin rode on a shortened Hornet platform with a wheelbase of just 96 inches and an overall length of 161 inches, making it a full 2 feet shorter than the compact Hornet, but with almost the same mechanical underpinnings. This approach saved tremendously on development and tooling costs. Unlike the imported subcompacts from Japan and Europe, the Gremlin featured 6-cylinder power as standard equipment, a 199 cubic inch inline-six producing 128 horsepower. This was substantially more muscle than its foreign competitors, giving the small car surprising pep. For those wanting even more power, a 232 cubic inch 6 with 145 horsepower was optional. Later models would even offer AMC's potent 304 cubic inch V8, creating what some enthusiasts call America's first hot hatch, decades before that term existed. The Gremlin debuted on April 1st, 1970. Yes, April Fool's Day, a deliberately chosen date that showed AMC's sense of humor about its quirky new offering. The automotive press didn't quite know what to make of it. Car and Driver magazine famously described it as looking like the profile of a dog walking away, while other publications praised its practicality and uniqueness. The timing couldn't have been better. The 1973 oil crisis was just around the corner, and Americans would soon be clamoring for more fuel-efficient vehicles. Inside, the Gremlin was unexpectedly roomy for front passengers, with the same cabin space as the larger Hornet up to the B-pillar. The rear was another story. The back seat was suitable for children or very patient adults, and cargo space was limited with the rear seat in place. When folded down, however, the Gremlin offered a surprisingly practical cargo area. The dashboard was pure AMC, straightforward, functional, and more robust than refined. The initial pricing was incredibly aggressive, starting at just $1,879 for the basic 2-seat model and $1,959 for the 4-seater version. about $13,500 and $14,000 in today's dollars, respectively. This made it one of the most affordable new cars on the American market, though still somewhat pricier than imports like the Volkswagen Beetle. What many people don't realize is just how successful the Gremlin actually was for AMC. From 1970 to 1978, American Motors sold 671,475 Gremlins, a remarkable achievement for a small automaker. At its peak in 1974, in the midst of the first energy crisis, AMC moved 171,128 Gremlins, nearly doubling sales from just 2 years earlier. Throughout its production run, the Gremlin received numerous updates and special editions that have become collector favorites. The X package added sporty visual elements like body stripes, slotted wheels, and a body-colored grille. The Levi's edition featured actual blue denim for seat upholstery, complete with the small Levi's tab on the front seats, now one of the most sought-after Gremlin variants. One of the rarest Gremlins was the Randall 401XR, a dealer special from Randall AMC in Mesa, Arizona. These modified Gremlins packed AMC's biggest engine, the 401 cubic inch V8, into the tiny car's engine bay, creating a pocket rocket capable of 0 to 60 miles per hour, times under 6 seconds. Only about 20 were ever produced, and survivors command astronomical prices today. There was even a fully electric Gremlin developed in partnership with Galton Industries back in 1972, decades before electric cars became mainstream. Using nickel-cadmium batteries, it had a range of about 50 miles and a top speed of 50 miles per hour. Only a few prototypes were built, but they showcased AMC's innovative thinking. In motorsports, the Gremlin made a surprising impact despite its economy car roots. In SCCA competition, Gremlins with the 304 V8 proved competitive in the compact sedan classes. The car even went drag racing. Grumpy Jenkins campaigned a pro-stock Gremlin, shocking the audience when he rolled up with the little car at major events. Celebrity Gremlin owners included basketball legend Wilt Chamberlain, who must have looked absolutely comical in the tiny car, Wayne Newton, and Mötley Crue's Vince Neil. The car has appeared in numerous films and TV shows over the years, including a memorable appearance in Wayne's World, cementing its status as a cultural icon. The Gremlin's legacy extends far beyond its sales figures or pop culture appearances. It proved that American automakers could successfully build smaller cars, paving the way for the domestic compacts and subcompacts that followed. It showcased incredible creativity in the face of severe constraints. Working with limited resources, AMC's team created a truly original automobile that couldn't be mistaken for anything else. Perhaps most importantly, the Gremlin helped keep AMC viable through the turbulent 1970s. Without the Gremlin's success, AMC might not have survived to create later icons like the Pacer, Eagle, and even the Jeep Cherokee XJ that would eventually become the company's most enduring contribution to automotive design. Today, Gremlins have a dedicated following, with well-preserved examples becoming increasingly valuable collector items. What was once dismissed as an oddball economy car is now appreciated for its originality, historical significance, and that ineffable quality of being so weird, it's cool. The Gremlin's design influence can be seen in other short rear vehicles that followed, from the Pacer to even modern camback designs that enhance aerodynamic efficiency. Its bold approach to styling, love it or hate it, you remembered it, stands in stark contrast to today's often homogeneous automotive designs. So next time you see a surviving Gremlin at a car show, remember, you're looking at more than just a quirky compact with a funny name. You're seeing American automotive ingenuity at its finest. A vehicle born from impossible constraints that became an unlikely success story and cultural phenomenon. In a world of increasingly indistinguishable crossovers and look-alike sedans, perhaps we could use a little more of the Gremlin's distinctive personality and daring design on our roads today.